Hi, welcome to my short video for the knees. So thinking about strengthening and stretching through the knees, an area of the body that quite a few of us struggle with in terms of perhaps knee pain, or maybe just not being as aware as we could be of our knees during our yoga practice. So there's not too much time on the knees at all, in fact virtually no time on the knees whatsoever during this practice. So you will need a blanket, a rolled up blanket or a towel or something like that, so perhaps go and grab that now, ready for your yoga practice. And then we're going to start on the back of the body with the head resting on the blanket just to start with. And we're going to come into our reclined butterfly. So let's just come onto the back of the body. Lower the head down onto the blanket so you're nice and comfortable, so neck supported, chin's just coming in a little bit towards the chest. And then we're going to take the feet together, so soles of the feet are going to come together to come to our reclined butterfly. You can use more blankets or bolsters or blocks underneath the thighs if you wish. You can also move the feet a bit further away if that's more comfortable, or if you want a slightly more intense stretch you can bring the feet further towards you. Resting the hands down on the stomach, close down through the eyes. You shouldn't have any knee pain here, but just notice the sensations in your body. Supporting under the thighs might be an idea if you feel a bit too intense in terms of the stretch, because that will just take the intensity particularly out of the inner thighs. Roll the shoulders down, draw them under the body. Take some deep breaths here in your reclined butterfly. Come to your breath. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Feel the belly inflate as you inhale. Feel it soften and flatten as you exhale. You might want to exhale through the mouth here. Releasing tension in the body. Feeling a gentle opening through the hips. So if at any point this position is too much, then you can just relax one leg along the mat, keeping one knee out to the side. It's almost like a half butterfly. Another deep breath here. Exhale. If you're doing one side at a time, we're just going to swap over. So opposite leg is outstretched. Bending through the other knee, bringing the sole of the foot to the side of the straight leg. 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. So I'm going to bring the arms out at shoulder height, roughly, so they come out to the side of you. Just hug the knees in towards the chest. Keep the neck supported where it is for the time being. We're actually going to come to do a little bit of core work here. So lifting the legs up towards the ceiling. You're going to bring the hands behind the head, so they're just at the top of the neck, elbows coming out to the side, legs are outstretched. We're going to twist through the torso, so we're going to engage the lower belly, making sure it's in contact with the mat the whole time. So we're going to twist right elbow to left knee. So we're going to do that, and as we do that, we're going to lower the right leg towards the mat. Now when we get to the point where we feel our lower spine lifting, we bring that leg back up and we swap sides. So we twist left elbow to right knee, bring the left leg down, come back up. We twist again, come back. So as you exhale, go to your twist. One more each side. We'll do one more, otherwise I think that's an uneven number that we've done. Come back to centre. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Perhaps just gently rock from side to side. We're going to do that again. So we're going to lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Hands are going to come at the top of the neck. Reach the legs up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Draw the belly in, feel the lower spine in contact with the mat. Exhale. Right elbow to left knee, right leg lowers. Last one. Draw the knees in, interlace the fingers around the shins. Rock from side to side. Bring the arms out, shoulder height again. Let's inhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. Exhale, drop both knees to the right hand side. You can take your gaze slightly to the left if that's comfortable. Feel a supine twist. Stretch through the left hand side of the body here. Keep breathing. Inhale, bring the knees back up, draw them in towards the chest. Exhale, take them to the left hand side. Gaze can come to the right, relaxing through the shoulders, relaxing through the jaw, the forehead. Breathe. Inhale, draw the knees back up through centre. So we're going to come up to seated, so we're going to gently rock along the spine to come all the way up onto hands and knees. We're actually going to come straight up to downward facing dog. So just place the blanket to one side because you'll need that in a bit. You can avoid coming onto your knees if that's best for you, or you can come around onto the knees and then push up to downward facing dog. So spread through the fingers, lift the hips, bend through the knees, push the mat away with the hands, take some deep breaths here. See if you can get the hips a little bit higher. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Each time you exhale, see if you can just get the chest a little bit nearer to the thighs. Inhale, exhale. Lovely. And then let's walk the feet towards the hands, so bring them to the top of the mat. Coming to our forward fold, our Uttanasana forward fold. Take a deep bend through the knees, take hold of opposite elbows. Allow the chest to come towards the thighs. Take hold of opposite elbows and just gently rock from side to side. Take some deep breaths. Push into the ground through both feet. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the whole of the upper body. Perhaps shaking the head loose. Perhaps nodding or shaking the head a few times. Allow the hands to come back down to the mat. Take another deep breath. We're going to push through the feet. Come all the way up through standing. Slowly, slowly. Bring the arms up as you take a deep inhale. Exhale. Draw the hands down through to heart center. Coming to your Tadasana. Feet are about hip distance apart. Standing at the top of your mat. Draw the hands down by the sides of the body. Remember our Tadasana, how strong we can be engaging through the legs, through the fingers. So let's make sure we're pressing into the ground through both feet. Really draw yourself towards the mat. Make sure you can feel the floor through all four corners of the feet. Engage through the quads at the front of the legs. That will help just to draw up the kneecaps a tiny bit. Draw up through the lower belly and just lengthen down through the tailbone. Keep the shoulders down. Reach the fingers towards the floor, so you're activating through the arms, through every single finger. Crown of the head comes up towards the ceiling. Jaws soft. Take 2 breaths. One more breath here. On the next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, we're going to fold. Some half sun salutations. Inhale, we come to half lift. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Don't worry about what the hands are doing. Worry about length down the back of the body. Exhale. Inhale, push through the feet. We come all the way up. Palms come to heart center. We go again. We inhale, draw the arms all the way up. Reach those fingers towards the sky. Exhale, this time draw the hands down through heart center. We fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, push through the feet. We come all the way up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, draw the arms all the way up. Reach those fingers a little bit higher. Exhale, draw the hands down through the heart space we fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, push through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale. Draw the hands down through the heart center. Release the hands by the sides of the body. Roll out through the shoulders a couple of times. So reset the feet to about hip distance apart. We're going to take an inhale and we're just going to fold very slightly forwards but keeping the back, almost if we're coming to a half lift really. So we're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to fold, but we're going to keep it nice and high to half lift. Keep a bend through the knees so you're not stretching too much or straining too much through the knees. So exhale to here, inhale, we're going to push through the feet, we're going to come up, we're going to open out through the chest. Exhale, we're going to take that fold. Inhale, we're going to come back up, open out through the chest. Exhale, take that fold, keep the length through the back of the body last time. Inhale. Gaze through the legs, open out through the chest. Take a couple of breaths here. Goddess arms, draw the shoulder blades together behind you. Gazing up very slightly. Another breath. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, draw the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, open out through the chest, reach the hands towards the floor, draw the shoulders down, stay strong in your feet. What we can then do, if it's comfortable, you can just take a little twist, maybe from side to side, just adding a little bit of movement into our heart opening. And coming back to center. Inhale here. Exhale, bend through the knees. We're going to fold forwards. Reaching the arms above you. Hold it here for another breath. Inhale, release the hands. Come all the way up. Cross the arms over. Give yourself a hug. So we're opening out through the shoulders. Breathe here for a moment. Release the hands down on the exhale. We're going to start again, repeat on the other side. We're going to bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, draw the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, draw the palms down, open out through the chest, gaze comes up very slightly, take a few breaths here. Feel that opening through the chest, shoulder blades drawn together. Breathe. Keep the belly drawn up, keep the legs engaged. Next, exhale, we're going to fold, a little bend through the knees, bring the arms above you. If that's not comfortable, just drop the arms onto the lower back, that's absolutely fine too. Another breath here. Release the hands, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, cross the arms the other way, give yourself a hug. Take a few breaths. Exhale, release the hands. Roll out through the shoulders. We're then going to come to do a forward fold where we're going to stretch down the back of the legs. So bringing your feet to the top of the mat, I'm going to come this way around so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to take the left leg behind the right, so we've got one leg behind the other. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, we're going to fold forwards. You can bend through the knees. You probably find this is a bit more challenging than just the usual forward fold where we've got both legs parallel with one another. Take a forward fold here. Feel that stretch down the back of the leg. Allow the upper body to be completely soft. Breathe. We're going to slowly walk our hands around to the left hand side. Hips remain facing forwards. Breathe. Feel that stretch down the back of the legs. Walk the hands back through centre, take the hands around to the right hand side. A little bit of a balance challenge here as well. Breathe. See if you can fold a bit further forwards. Keep both feet firmly grounded into the floor. Walk the hands back through centre. Take a breath. On the next inhale, let's press through both feet. Let's come all the way up through standing. Release the hands down. Release the foot. Perhaps give the legs a little bit of a shake. We need to cross the legs over the other way now. So choose to do the opposite, or choose the opposite leg now. So I'm going to take my left leg behind my right. Have to think about that then. Left leg behind my right. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold. You might find this side's a bit more tricky. Perhaps you've got a bit less space. A bit tighter maybe. Have a little bend in the knees. Bring the hands to the floor, to the shins, or you could put blocks either side of you. Bring the floor up a little bit if that helps. Breathe here, relax the head and shoulders. I'm going to walk the hands to the right hand side this time. Breathe here. Just change the stretch you're feeling very slightly. Inhale, walk the hands back round, and then go the other way. Keeping your balance better than I just did. Trying to remain central, weight evenly distributed. Breathing into the stretch, relaxing the upper body. Walk the hands back through centre, push through the feet, come all the way up, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Let's draw them down through heart centre. Release the feet, give them a bit of a wiggle and a shake, perhaps shake out the whole body. And we're going to come to a wide leg stance. So bringing your feet wider than they have been, so the feet are parallel with one another. So again, we're stretching down the back of the legs here. And in everything we're doing today, we're looking at strengthening through the knee joint, making sure that it's properly aligned, and looking at strengthening and stretching all the muscles and tendons and ligaments around the knee, particularly on the inside of the knee joint, which is so important. So if you find that your knees are under pressure in this wide leg stance, just walk your feet a little bit closer together, which will just help to relieve that pressure a tiny bit. So take the feet to a width that's comfortable for you, with your toes facing forwards, feet parallel with one another. I want you to engage your outer thighs and just lengthen your tailbone down very slightly. So really feel the outer thighs working for you. Breathe. Bring the palms together, press the elbows out to the side so you can feel that in your shoulders, in your chest. Keep working into the outer thighs, perhaps pushing a bit into the outside edges of your feet. Inhale here, one more inhale. Exhale, we're just going to tip forwards, keeping the spine nice and long. So spine stays long. Take a breath here, 1 inch. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. But you're keeping the spine long, so we're not rounding through the shoulders. We've got length through the back of the body. Breathe. Inhale, come up one more time. This time we're going to fold all the way down. Exhale, come forwards. Bring the hands all the way down to the mat. You can perhaps walk the feet a little bit further apart if you want to, relaxing the head and shoulders down towards the mat, taking some more deep breaths. Breathe. Should feel a juicy stretch on the back of the legs. Make sure the outer thighs are still engaged and press into the outside edges of your feet. Then let's slowly and carefully bend through the knees, walk the hands back up. From here we're going to come to warrior two. So we're going to leave the back foot, your right foot where it is for now. Walk the left foot round so the toes are facing the front of your mat, the short edge of your mat. So come to warrior two. So from here, I want you to make sure you've got a long enough stance so you're not standing too close together because your knee's going to go too far over your foot. So make sure you've got a nice long stance so you can feel a stretch through the inner thighs. If you can't feel anything, you might want to step back a little bit more. So my front knee's over my front ankle, my back foot is pressing into the mat, particularly through the outside edge. Pressing into the ground through both feet then, engaging through both thighs, that's really important, particularly the inner thighs, so really draw those in, squeeze them in, so you're activating through the thighs. Bring the arms all the way up to shoulder height. Look behind you, make sure that back arm's roughly level. Check the front knees not turning inwards, you want it to be over the ankle, not coming in. Really good for your knee to make sure it's over your ankle. So we're still drawing in through the inner thighs, engaging the legs, pushing into the ground through both feet. We're going to take 4 breaths here. In through the nose. Exhale. In through the nose. Exhale. 2 more. In through the nose. Exhale. Last one. In through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to reverse the warrior. We're going to lean forwards, turn the palm over, take the right hand back to the back of the right thigh, gaze up, keep the front knee bent over the front ankle, gazing up to our top hand if that's comfortable, reversing our warrior. Breathe here. Still strong through the legs. Be mindful of where your knee is, particularly your front knee. Inhale again. Exhale, come to side angle. So the left arm comes to the left thigh. Right arm reaches all the way up. We're not pushing too much into that thigh. We're allowing our core, our body, we're supporting ourselves. We're not dumping into our thighs. So make sure you're holding yourself up. Your knees not tracking in. Your chest is open. There's a lot of things to think about on there. And then your arm reaches all the way over the top, or it could come around the back of the body, whichever you prefer. Keep pushing into the ground through both feet so you're really strong in both feet. You can feel both legs really working for you. Notice your knee over that front ankle. Be mindful of where it is throughout the practice today. Just take care, notice it. Inhale. Going to come all the way back up through warrior 2. Exhale, hands come to the hips. Walk the foot back in, come down the other side. So you're going to bring the right foot to face what is now the front of the mat. Left foot's going to be parallel with the back edge of your mat. Front knee over front ankle. Check the distance again between your feet. A rough guide in terms of alignment. Back of the front foot in line with the arch of the back of the front foot, in line with the back of the arch of the back foot. I'll get there in a minute. So rough guide, but obviously we're all very different, so that's only a very rough guide in terms of the alignment of your feet. Make sure that front knee's not tracking over. Draw the shoulders down. Activate through the inner thighs. Push both feet into the floor. Bring the arms all the way up. Gaze over the front fingers. Check the back arms roughly level. 4 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Keep the front knee bent over the front ankle. Make sure it's not moving. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Reach forwards. Turn the palm over. Reverse our warrior. Bring the hands all the way back to the left thigh. Reach the right arm all the way up. Keep the front knee bent. Make sure it's not tracked inwards. Gaze up towards the top hand if that's comfortable for your neck. If not, just keep the gaze to the side. Breathe. Keep activating through the legs. Inner thighs. Exhale, side angle. Right arm to right thigh. Reach the left arm all the way up. Make sure that front knee's over the front ankle. Mine starts to track in. Let's just push it out to sides very slightly. Keep the chest open. In order to do that, I'm going to keep my hand behind the back of the body. Breathe. Don't dump into this right side. Make sure you're really supporting yourself. Breathe here. One more breath. Inhale, let's come back through Warrior Two. Exhale, hands come to the hips, walk the feet so they're parallel and start to walk them in towards one another. Coming back to your Tadasana. Okay, so for this bit we need a block or a book or something that you can just place between the thighs. So we're going to come back to our Tadasana just to activate through the legs. We've done this before in our classes. We're just going to do it again today. So we're going to place the block between the thighs. And we're going to use this as we squeeze, and we're just going to sit back a little bit into our chair as we're squeezing the block. So come to the top of the mat, place a block or a book or something you can use to really activate through the inner thighs in particular. Feet are about hip distance apart. We're standing up nice and tall in our Tadasana to start with. Pressing both feet into the ground. Draw in through the quads, so squeeze the quads, squeeze the block. That will lift the kneecaps slightly. Particularly look at activating or notice your activation of the inner thighs. Squeeze those inner thighs in order to keep that block in place. Draw the shoulders down, reach the hands towards the floor. Crown of the head coming up towards the ceiling. We breathe. One more breath. Keep squeezing that block, keep activating through the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to sit back, keep the block in place. Imagine you're in a chair. Keep squeezing that block. Lengthen through the tailbone. Weights in the heels. We're going to keep the hands at heart center. We're not going to lift them above the head. Inhale, we're going to come up quick. Keep squeezing the block. Exhale, sit back to your chair. Make sure you lengthen the tailbone, draw the belly in. Make sure the hips have gone back, the knees haven't come forwards. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower yourself down to your chair. Again, lengthen through the tailbone. Make sure you can still see your toes. Inhale, come up. Squeeze that block a little bit more. Exhale, squeeze the block. Sit back to your chair. Hold it here for 3 breaths. Squeeze the block a bit more. Draw the belly in. Shoulders down. 2 more breaths. Inhale, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, all the way up to the top. Release the hands, roll the shoulders. Let's take the block away, place it to the side somewhere. Come back to your mat. So we're going to think about zipping up through the legs. So in your Tadasana, perhaps bring the feet a little bit closer together. Imagine you're zipping up. You've got a zip from your toes, your heels, all the way up through the centre of the body. So imagine somebody zipped you up all the way through the middle. So your legs are completely active. They're strong. They're bound together, if you like, in terms of their activation. So imagine that sensation, a bit like we just did with the block, but obviously there's no block this time, but just imagine it's still there. And then your legs are really active. So remember those cues, those instructions that I gave whilst we had the block, and we were using that to activate through the lower thighs. So another way of imagining it or using that to help us activate through the thighs is to think about the legs being zipped up. So squeeze through the quads, draw up through the belly, reach the hands down, press both feet into the floor, activate through the whole of your legs, both legs. Another breath. And let's just release from that for a moment. We're going to come to plank. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, and then we're going to come down to plank. And we're going to do a little bit of core stabilisation. But what's really important here is that the hips stay level. So we shouldn't be moving the hips. I probably will. I try not to. So try not to move the hips as we're doing this. If you want to come down to the knees, of course you can, but just be mindful of any knee pain or pressure that might cause, particularly since we're thinking about knees during this practice. So come to the top of the mat, draw the shoulders down. Let's inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, we're going to fold. Bring the hands down, step yourself back to plank. So nice strong plank, spread through the fingers, push the heels, I can't think what it's called then, the heels away from you, draw the belly up, strong arms. So from here, I'm just going to set my feet up slightly wider. We're going to touch the opposite hand to the opposite shoulder. So we're thinking about keeping our hips where they are. So we're going to slowly draw. I'm going to start with my left hand off the floor, and then take the right hand, trying to keep your hips as level as you can while still drawing up through the core. Slowly tapping one shoulder at a time. Oh, one more of each. Well done. Now we're just going to lower ourselves to the floor to come to Sphinx. Bringing the arms parallel with one another. Shouldn't have any knee pain here. You can always place a bit of extra padding if you want to. We're just going to inhale and do almost like a little cat and cow here in our Sphinx. So inhale, we're just going to push the chest forward slightly, coming to a little bit of a deeper back bend. Exhale, we're going to round through the spine a little bit, draw up through the belly. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Another one of each. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Keeping the arms parallel with one another. Draw the shoulders down. Relax the upper body. Take some deep breaths. From here, we're going to come back onto the back of the body to come to bridge pose. So you can lower yourself down to the floor very carefully. If it's all right for your knees, push yourself all the way up, perhaps to all fours, and then come round onto the back of the body for bridge. So you will need a block for bridge because we're going to use that like we have done before, just to activate through the thighs. So placing the block between the thighs, lowering yourself down to the floor. So squeezing through the block, placing the feet flat on the floor. So a rough guide would be that you can just about touch your heels with your hands, your fingers. But of course, that may vary or does vary from person to person. So just draw the feet in, making sure they're close enough to your bottom. Feet firmly placed onto the floor, about hip distance apart. Squeeze the block. Now I want you to do this without squeezing through the glutes too much. So you want to not activate through the glutes, you want to use the inner thighs. So squeeze the inner thighs, root down through the feet. Hands can stay just gently placed on the mat beside you. So we're going to press through the feet as we inhale. We're going to squeeze the block and we're going to try not to clench too much through the glutes. So it's the inner thighs that are working, not too much the glutes. And you'll notice a real difference when you do that, because normally we clench our glutes. Exhale, let's slowly lower. Keep squeezing that block. Roll the spine onto the floor. Inhale, squeeze the block. Try and keep the glutes relatively soft. Lift, lift, lift. Squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the block. Hold it for a breath. Let's slowly exhale, lower it down to the floor. Once more, inhale. Squeeze the block between the thighs. Try and turn off the glutes as much as you can. It's really tricky. Hold it here for a breath. If you want to, you can also interlace the fingers underneath the bottom. Draw yourself a bit higher onto the shoulders here. Squeeze a bit more through the inner thighs. Breathe. Keep pushing the feet into the floor. Exhale, release the hands, slowly lower the bottom down to the floor. Take the block away. Let's just rock gently from side to side for a few breaths. Just gently rocking from side to side a few times. I'm going to come into another supine twist. So taking the arms out, shoulder height, too many things in the way here. Bring the knees in towards you. Exhale, take both knees to the right hand side. Breathe in and out here. You can bring the right ankle onto the left knee if you want a slightly greater stretch. Just be careful your knees are happy. Breathe. Release, bring the knees back up through centre. Exhale, take them the other way. Now I have got block in the way. And again, you can bring the left ankle onto the right knee. Just extend that stretch a bit if you want to. Taking the gaze to the right, dropping the shoulders, relaxing the hands. Take a few deep breaths. Release the foot, the knees back up through centre, hug them in towards the chest. Rock from side to side. And then I would suggest, if you've still got your blanket nearby, that you keep it rolled up. Place it under the knees for your Shavasana. It's really lovely just to support the knees. I'm going to come down onto the floor. Bring the arms out, just away from the body slightly, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Allow the feet just to rock out to the side, allow the knees to be supported by the blanket. Shoulders drawn down away from the ears. Relaxing the body. Taking a few final deep breaths. Allow the breath to be smooth, allow the body to rest and be relaxed. You can stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you want to.